late in the day, a small village. In the middle of the bamboo forest, Mr. Thod, a young man, ran, breathless, towards Mr. PhranKlaew's house.
Mr. PhranKlaew, I heard that. 2 more days. You'll go into the forest again, right? I'd like to go with you, too.
Mr. Thod, a young man whose house is not far from FranKong's house. How much? He asked in a panting voice.
This time, I may go in for several nights. Mrs. Pian, your wife, will you say yes or no? Because this time, I intend to go into the deep forest.
I've talked to him before I stopped by. I also asked FranKong before coming to see you.
I've 10 the afternoon of the next day. FranKong, come to FranKlaew's house. The two talked, set the day and time to enter the forest. Once the appointment has been made, FranKong then asked to leave. But before leaving, FranKlaew spoke, up-elked to him. Before I stopped by, I also asked FranKong, before coming to see you.
Fran Thod, I'll go along with you. FranKong, think and see how.
FranKlaew said with a neutral expression.
And did Fran Thod know that this time he might go in for many nights?
FranKong, speak softly, softly.
I told Fran Thod and he didn't see Fran Thod. What did he say? I wish FranKong, please go tell Fran Thod. Tomorrow we will go to the forest. If you want to go before dawn, please gather in front of our house before dawn.
FranKlaew said. FranKong nodded. FranKong came to stand and wait at the appointed time in front of FranKlaew's house. He stood and waited for a moment. FranKlaew then walked out. The two people then walked together, heading towards the edge of the forest. FranKlaew said. FranKong nodded. When they arrived at the edge of the forest, FranKlaew prepared rice and food to perform a ceremony to inform the forest and mountain princes. FranKong and FranKlaew all helped each other, each stick, each hand.
FranKlaew, please wait for me. I'm sorry I came a little late. I went to FranKlaew's house. Paob said that FranKlaew had already come out, so I ran. Follow me. I was afraid I wouldn't be in time for the ceremony.
Franthod, speak in a tired voice. He uses both hands to lean on his knees. He gasps for breath until he throws himself. This shows his exhaustion.
And did Fran Thod know that this time he might go in for many nights?
FranKong, speak softly, softly.
Okay, you, sit down and relax first. When I'm finished getting ready, please walk in.
FranKlaew said. The tone of voice shows concern and sympathy. FranKlaew, FranKong, prepare everything, ready, so tell. Franthod, come in and sit. FranKlaew, light the incense sticks. Tell, Lord of the forest, Lord of the mountains. When the incense sticks ran out, soon the light, the sun, began to shine. The sound of birds, the wild fowl, began to sing. The three hunters walked together, heading towards the north, heading towards the foot of the mountain, where everyone could see, standing tall in the foreground. The three of them were in a hurry, walking without stopping, hoping to reach their destination before evening. When they arrived at the creek, they invited each other to sit and rest, eat lunch at the edge of the creek. After that, they left to continue their journey. FranKlaew, walk in front, Fran Thod. In the middle, finish, FranKong. Some parts of the forest are densely overgrown. Some parts are open forest. Some parts have vines. Intertwined, the three of them. Help each other. Use knives to cut. Pass by.
I think we'll stop for a rest and find a place to sleep on a tree. It's around here. Judging by the sunlight, it's probably 4 or 5 in the afternoon.
PhranKlaew said and told Stop. Take a break to relieve your tiredness. When they sat down to rest until they were relieved and tired, the three of them divided up their duties. FranKlaew. Do duties. Cook rice. Cook rice. FranKlaew. FranKlaew. So I took Fran Todd to cut branches, to make shelters, to make houses. Up on the tree, used to sleep tonight, all night. The two of them walked away. Not long. The hunter could hear the sound of cutting wood, a loud noise to be heard. Not long, FranKlaew, Franthod. Together they carried the tree. Walk back. When placing the tree, they walked together in reverse. Return. Go. Find the vine. Again, when you get trees and vines, everything is complete, so arrange. Prepare the house on the tree. FranKlaew. Cooking rice is just finished. Sam Fran helped build a house on the tree. A moment when all three finished building a house on a tree, all people. So we went together, eat dinner. The sun is beginning to set until it started getting dark. Light from bonfire that FranKlaew pointed out, starting to shine brightly in the dark. That began to come in, covered. The sound of birds and insects. The night began to make noise. FranKlaew, Franthod. So they separated to do business. Personal. Whose? It's when the two Fran came back. FranKlaew. So they separated themselves. Some of his personal business. All finished their personal business, so everyone climbed up. To the accommodation first. Go up to the wooden platform on the FranKlaew accommodation. Sit and raise your hands in a ceremony to tell the tree goddess, Lord of the forest, Lord of the mountain. He picked up a 1 baht Garuda coin. Standing up, he placed the coin at chest level and hammered it into the base of the tree. FranKlaew. Bend down and pick up soil. Then scatter the soil on the head. Franthod sighed. Sit and watch the actions of the senior hunter. Before seeing, FranKlaew climbed the tree, followed up to the residence. FranKlaew, take out the medicine pipe and use it. Light a cigarette. It's dark in the evening. Hear birds. Night insects can hear singing. This is normal. It's the nature of the forest, FranKlaew. Lie down, get some rest, work hard for tomorrow. Tonight, the moon. There is no light, so there is no light from the stars. There was no light to be seen this night. Time passed very quickly. Franthod. Use your hands to poke and wake. FranKlaew, wake up.
There's what? I'm about to fall asleep.
FranKlaew said, came out. His voice sounded like he was angry.
FranKlaew, look, there, a green light, flashing brightly, slowly, moving, along the forest, along the dry creek. That's it, brother. What kind of light?
Franthod didn't answer. FranKlaew, but turned to ask FranKlaew in a stammering voice.
You two, be quiet for now. Set your mind carefully. That, if it could be a hollow ghost or a POW ghost, I think that's the case.
FranKlaew said in a whispered voice. FranKlaew, give FranKlaew. Franthod, let him sleep, rest, continue. Tomorrow. Will have strength. Continue walking. The path before. He turns to look down. Below. He meets the figure of an old man. White hair, flowers, and the bodies of 2 other men. Where they walked together, disappeared along the dry creek path. FranKlaew sit and look. 3 figures. Walk away. Before using, eyes look back at one tree, because just now, PhranKlaew saw that there was a woman. She looked at him. When the young woman saw PhranKlaew stare at her, she looked away, disappeared, and disappeared. Past experiences of hiking. PhranKlaew encountered mysteries, ghosts, demons. There were many. Things that are encountered at this moment, so I don't do anything to make him feel worried. Worried. PhranKlaew, sitting and looking into the darkness. Explore, go around, the accommodation. Time has passed. Arrived at 3 a.m., PhranKlaew. So poked and woke up FranKong. Before PhranKlaew lay back and fell asleep. The sound of wild chickens screaming loudly could be heard. It was like the sound of an alarm clock. It came out periodically. Soon the sun began to shine. It emerged from the top of the mountain. The brightness began. When light comes in instead, FranKong. So he moved to get up. Before climbing down, he came to the ground below. FranKong. Go down to the ground. Then arrange. Make a fire. PhranKlaew. FranThod. Then climb down and help. FranKong. Cook rice. Cook with food. PhranKlaew. Use the tip of a knife to pry. Baht coins, Garuda brand, before putting them in your bag. Then walked. Come and sit down next to the fire. Before helping. FranKong. FranThod. Cook rice. Cook. When the rice is cooked, the food is finished. The 3 people then started eating. Eat breakfast. Finished breakfast. The 3 hunters prepared themselves and set out on their journey.
FranKlaew, that accommodation, we won't tear it down first, or FranKlaew.
FranThod, ask in a questioning tone.
Do not need. Next time we still have to stay here. Or, FranKlaew, what do you think?
FranKong, answer, ready, ask idea from FranKlaew. FranKlaew, smiling, nodding, accepting face, expression, expressing agreement. Didn't say any words. Came out, ready, walked out, before everyone. All walk together, in a row, in one order. Walk through sparse forest, switching into dense forest. In the late sunshine, the sunlight shines down. You can see a faint trace. The sound of the cuckoo. The sound of the black squirrel. Make a sound from the top of a tall tree. Walk, pass, on a low slope. Trek up to high ground, walk. Come close to the clay pond where animals like to eat. To Wayan Pond, all of them gathered together to take a break. Lost, tired, FranKlaew, so he said.
We're close to Botar Wan. Walk for another half an hour and we'll arrive.
The sound of cicada insects, screaming, alternating. The sounds of birds, cuckoos, gibbon monkeys, loud noises. It comes from time to time, a long time will be heard. The sound of a deer crying loudly. Come. The sound of a wild fowl. Loud, unmistakable sound. 2. The forest line, next to the dirt pond. So, let's walk together, turn away to the right. So we came across a path that animals use to walk to a dirt pond. The 3 hunters. So they went together, walked, explored, around the area. Next to the earthen pond, there is a seepage pond. Size, not very big. Width, about 1 meter. Length, 1 meter. FranKlaew, pointing finger. FranKong, look at the trees. use them to make floors and make shelters on the trees at night. PhranKlaew, walk in front, PhranKong, PhranThod, walk behind, walk, head forward, go, to the bamboo forest. When you arrive, arrange and place your belongings. PhranKong, walk to cut down a small tree, to use to sweep away rocks. Then the three people helped each other to cook rice, cook food. PhranThod, walking around looking for bamboo shoots and picking vegetables. A cool breeze blows from time to time. PhranThod, walk back, put the bamboo shoots on the fire, in hand. There is still a top of wild bitter melon. There were peeled wild vegetable shoots and broken bone pods.
Oh, and PhranKlaew, where did he go? Or go out and find some pods as well?
PhranThod asked when he arrived.
I see PhranKlaew walking towards the foot of the mountain. Just a moment. PhranKlaew will be back. Sound of gunfire. PhranKlaew. He must have found something.
PhranKong answered, when the sound of the gun is silent. After a while, PhranKlaew walked back. In his hand he carried a wild rabbit. When he arrived, he handed it to PhranThod.
I saw him sleeping under a bush, so I fired a scorching shot. Take it. Let's cook some food.
PhranThod, extend your hand to receive a wild rabbit. Come and cook. Walk away and disappear. Opposite, a forest bamboo tree. PhranKong, follow, go. After a while, they walked back together.
Is red curry good? Add broken bone pods. Red curry paste. Hot, hot. Drink the curry paste and soothe your throat. Or make a red curry paste. Add bamboo shoots.
PhranThod asked when he arrived. When the wild rabbit curry is cooked. So they sat together in a circle and ate rice. Wild rabbit red curry. Add broken bone pods. The red curry soup will taste a little bitter. Grilled bamboo shoots, wild bitter melon vegetables, wild vegetable shoots eaten with insect chili paste. Day. Time in the middle of the forest. Wild rice dishes, only this wild food is delicious. It's no different from eating in a luxurious restaurant. The three hunters ate together until they were full. Time passed and arrived at 4 p.m. PhranKlaew. So, invite everyone. Looking for cutting wood for building a shelter in the tree. Everyone dispersed to do their own duties. PhranKlaew, PhranKong, go cut down trees. PhranThod, go find vines. When they had everything, they all carried the wood to the tree, where they planned to build a shelter in the tree. When they reached the tree, they all started to help each other. They made a shelter on the tree when the accommodation is finished. So they walked back together. Go to the forest, the bamboo grove. The three of them sat and relaxed, waiting for their time to go up to their roost in the tree. The three of them ate together again. Finished eating the meal. They separated to go about their personal business, before coming back together again. When they had all arrived, the three of them walked together. Go to the tree where the shelter was made. PhranKlaew, pick up Garuda coin. Come out and hold. Raise your hands in worship. Pray for the ceremony. Tell the nymphs and Mother Earth. Then stamp the Garuda medallion to the tree. Then the three of them climbed up and went to rest in the tree. The forest began to grow dim. Evening time, evening time. Sunlight, light yellow, splashing light and touching the tops of trees. Cuckoo sound, gibbon's sound, Coo cried loudly from far away. The wind blows gently, the sound of birds in the night. Night insects make soft, soft cries in the dark. PhranKlaew. So he arranged to allocate time to sit and wait for animals to pass by. PhranKlaew, speak softly, voice smooth. FranKong, move to the side, make way for PhranThod, who is taking the first shift to sit, can see, conveniently in front, before climbing into the hammock, which was tied to rest. FranKong, not yet asleep, but suddenly, the sound of screaming and howling for a long time. It rang out, the sound of the voice that floats on the wind to be heard, makes you feel the temperature around you. It dropped until it was negative, until the hair on my arms stood up. It was like I was sitting at the North Pole. PhranThod, make a face. Confused, suspicious, shocked.
Stay quiet for now. FranKong, please shine a light downstairs for me.
PhranKlaew said and got up, grabbed his bag and climbed down from his resting place in the tree. When the foot hits the ground below, PhranKlaew. So he picked up some sand that was nearby and put it in his bag. Then he sat, with his hands together, chant a mantra that is strong and magical, until the end of the chapter. PhranKlaew, finish reciting the powerful mantra. He carried the guard over his shoulder. PhranKlaew walked around the trees. Hands spread sand all over the area. The mouth recites magical mantras. When the mission is completed, PhranKlaew. So he climbed back up. On the shelter, on the tree, PhranKlaew. Sit quietly. Eyes look at the floor, below, before saying,
You go back. We are different people, Mother. We come here to find food, to feed our mouths, to feed our stomachs, to feed our families. Only mine. PhranKlaew. Speak. Softly, softly in the throat. The voice is soft, like a whisper.
FranKong. FranThod. Look. PhranKlaew. Alternate. And look at the floor below. When hearing a voice speak. Of PhranKlaew. The ground below that. There is the body of a young woman. One person. The girl's body is transparent, can see through to the other side. The young woman stood still, looking up at the shelter, in the tree, where the Fran sat. Later, the girl's body will gradually fade away and disappear. When the girl hear a sound, PhranKlaew. When the female ghost figure leaves, PhranKlaew. So he leaned back against the tree. Before falling asleep, eyes closed, FranKong and FranThod both have the same understanding that from now on nothing will happen any longer. PhranKlaew, already asleep, FranKong, not yet asleep. He looked at the younger hunter. FranKong, you can know that. The younger generation of Fran have feelings. How?
You don't have to worry. If something happens, just wake me up if something happens. If it's beyond my reach, beyond my control, you and I will tell. PhranKlaew, let him know.
FranKong said when he saw the expression FranThod. FranThod, speak, whisper, ask FranKong. Softly, the voice sounded like a whisper.
What we saw in the early evening, the ghost of a nymph, is that right?
FranKong, look at FranThod, ready to deny, then point a finger. To the forest, above the dirt pond. Go up. Before speaking, whispering and replying.
See that over there? Banana forest? Tanny forest. That's it. That's the cause. That was seen in the evening. No, it's not the beautiful nymph. PhranKlaew, I saw it. Since I arrived.
Fran thought, look at the hand, Fran Kong. That indicates. He didn't say anything, but pondered in his heart that there was only one person who didn't notice it. The two of them were silent, talking down. Fran Kong, sleep, rested. Fran thought, sitting still, on a tree, using your eyes to look to the ground below. Wait, let the animal walk. Pass, ear, receive, listen. Various sounds around the area. Time passes quickly. Do, give, Fran thought. Forget about time. It's now. What time is it? What time is it now? Time passes quickly. Do, give, Fran thought. Forget about time. What time is it now?
Fran thought, have any animals come in yet? While I was sleeping.
Fran Kong said and moved to get up, to sit and wait for the animals to come. It's already 10 p.m. It's time for Fran thought to get some sleep.
It's strange, strange. I heard the sound of walking far, far away, but I didn't see any animals approaching.
You, it's time to sleep. Get some rest. It's already 10 p.m. From now on, it's my turn to watch and wait for those wild animals.
After speaking, Fran Kong then got down from the crib so that Fran thought could go up to sleep. So he came to take his place. PhranKlaew, still lying and half sitting, leaning against a tree. He closed his eyes still. Stay in the same place. Fran thought, moved and climbed up to sit. In the cradle, field, then recline, lie down, then fall asleep quietly. After Fran thought, fell asleep Fran Kong, sat and looked around the accommodation area, the area under the tree. The cool breeze blows softly and gently. The sound is loud, zag, zag. The cause is from friction of branches and leaves. But suddenly Fran Kong heard a loud sound coming from the ground below.
But suddenly Fran Kong heard a loud sound coming from the ground below.
Man below sends a loud sound coming from the ground below. Fran Kong, turn on the flashlight, look down at the ground below. Look at the man standing on the ground below with doubt. In the middle of the forest, dark, desolate. Like this, how can normal people walk? There are no bright lights to light the way. Fran Kong, use the tip of the gun barrel and aim it down at the body of that man who is standing and smiling below, under the tree, before he asked the man below.
Who are you? Where did you come from? Come into the middle of the forest, late at night, like this. Why did you come? Go. I don't have anything you can eat. Hurry. Go.
Fran Kong, send a command. Go down. He looked at PhranKlaew, who was still sleeping, leaning back against the still tree, alternating with looking at the man standing below. Fran Kong, he also has magical spells that are strong and magical, not inferior to those of PhranKlaew. The man standing below, that man, move, step, walk. The man stopped. Before reaching the base of the tree, that man stood still. He gestured, hesitating. He lifted his head and looked up at the tree before taking a step, walking away. When that man walked away, there were no more unusual events. Until he heard the sound of FRANKLAEW's body moving. FRANKLAEW. He woke up, opened his eyes, and was sitting up. FRANKONG. Look, FRANKLAEW, get up and sit. FRANKONG. Talk about things that happened. Let FRANKLAEW know. FRANKLAEW acknowledged. The story, the facial expression showed that understood. The sound, the gun, loud, the forest, rising at the same time. 2 shots. The sound of a gun that rang out made Franthod startled. He woke up.
Guys, what are you shooting at? Can you shoot that animal?
Franthod asked, gently, gently, in a soft voice, excited.
That wild deer, I am the one who shot it. As for that wild boar, FRANKLAEW was the one who shot it.
The sound of the answer from the mouth of FRANKONG. The tone of the voice shows pride. FRANKLAEW takes on the duty. He is the one who sits and watches. The body of a wild deer, the body of a wild boar, lying beneath until it's morning. The sun rises from the top of the mountain, sending light, until he could see the lines of his hands. FRANKLAEW. So he climbed down to the ground below. FRANKONG climbed down to the ground below, then walked to collect tree branches to use to build a fire for cooking rice. Cook this morning's food. Franthod climbed down to the ground below, then walked to collect fresh vegetables to bring for cooking this morning. The 3 hunters help each other, cook rice and cook food, when the rice and food are cooked. So they went together to eat slowly. The 3 hunters sit and rest for a moment. When they ate together until they were full, they all gathered together, smoking. Then the 3 of them walked to the body of the wild boar and the body of a wild deer. Then they helped each other to separate the parts of the wild boar and the wild deer, respectively. FRANKLAEW, bring the heart and liver to worship, to the King of the Forest, Lord of the Mountains. Thank you for sending me an unruly animal. After dissecting and separating the parts of the wild boar and wild deer, Sam Fran set out to travel. Return Layam 5 Village. End. Episode 1. I would like to ask everyone to press line. I would like to ask everyone to press share. I would like to ask everyone to press follow. Thank you.